tonight's big stories. One died and dozens were injured after the second floor of the St. Peter Apostle Parish Church in San Jose del Monte, Bulacan, collapsed during Ash Wednesday Mass.
The DICT is investigating the apparent hacking of a Department of Education regional office where the suspect claims to have accumulated over 750 gigabytes of data containing sensitive information of teachers and students.
And Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Juan Ponce Enrile turned 100 today, cementing his social media status as an immortal. The details on his birthday celebration in Malacanang later on.
Welcome to the show. I'm Regina.
I'm Gretchen.
And I'm Shawn.
Happy Valentine's.
Indeed, I can see you. You tried your best.
The Grinch is not.
No, we're well represented. Your Ash Wednesday.
Somebody has to wear. Somebody has to wear
Ash
it, right?
Wednesday
Kesa naman lahat tayo
diba?
mag-blend in sa couch. So as you know, obviously it's Valentine's Day and Ash Wednesday, which means, of course, the traffic in the city is bad. But unfortunately, we're kicking off the show on a somber note tonight. That's after one person died while 52 others were injured after the second floor of St. Peter the Apostle Church in San Jose del Monte, Bulacan collapsed. The incident happened at around 7 o'clock this morning in the middle of their Ash Wednesday Mass. Some reportedly had to pull themselves out of the rubble, while those who were not hit rushed in to help the victims.
In this video, you can see a woman who escaped from the rubble being assisted by another woman. A little while later, another victim was also assisted by residents. About 53 people were immediately brought to the hospital following the incident. And among those hospitalized was 80-year-old Luneta Morales, a member of the church choir. Unfortunately, Morales did not survive the injuries she sustained from the fall.
Siyempre masakit po. Masakit po yung naramdaman namin na gano'n, na biglaan na siya ay kinuha, ang lakas-lakas niya. Kaya lang, siyempre, hindi rin namin naman masisisi. Aksidente yun eh.
A survivor, Eva San Diego, recalled how they fell from the second floor of the church.
Nasa taas po kasi ako, nasa second floor, habang nagpapakross ng abo, siguro mga 5 minutes, saka siya gumuho. May katabi ako na may sugat dito sa may mata, may mga gasgas.
So what could have been the reason behind that collapse, and what was the church's reaction during and after the incident? Let's find out from JC Cosico, who is in San Jose del Monte, Bulacan. JC, go ahead. Sorry, we have Gio over there, Gio Robles. Go ahead, Gio.
Shawn, that's right. We got to spoke with Father Divino Kayanan, who was celebrating the Mass when the unexpected happened. He admits he did not know what to do during those moments.
Sumigaw yung mga tao. Kung paglinga ko po dito, yun, nakita kong nag-collapse po yung structure. Immediately after po, nun, syempre, kinabahan ako.
News 5 was also able to enter the church and check the area, although the rubble had already been cleared. Shawn, what you are seeing is the part that collapsed while people were in line to receive ashes on their foreheads this Ash Wednesday. The church was reportedly built in 1994, so it's being looked into why this part failed to bear the weight of those attending the Mass. According to the City Disaster Risk Reduction Management Office, there were 100 people on the second floor, while 20 people were in the first floor during the collapse. Earlier, local government officials inspected the inside of the church. They observed that the wooden beams were infested with termites.
Nakita kasi puro anay eh. So ito kasing portion na to, kung makita nyo to, binaklas na kasi namin kaagad kanina eh, tinignan na namin eh. So nakita namin maraming anay. 30 years old na yung portion na yun eh. So hindi natin naalalayan o naalagaan ng simbahan.
The San Jose del Monte LGU is now reportedly planning to demolish the entire wooden section of the church. Shawn, the church will be temporarily closed while the incident is thoroughly investigated. The entire structure will also undergo inspection, including other old churches and buildings in the city. The LGU will bear the expenses for the treatment of the victims, and they will also be provided with cash assistance. Shawn, that's all we have here from San Jose del Monte in Bulacan. Back to you and good evening.
All right, thank you so much for those updates. News 5's Gio Robles.
Let's head on over to Davao de Oro, where we're also following another tragedy. Search and retrieval operations for the landslide in Mako town have resumed after being temporarily stopped due to fissures discovered on the mountain. Let's get more details on that from Mon Gualvez, who is reporting to us live from Mawab, Davao de Oro. Mon, tell us more.
Regina, Shawn, Gretchen, the search and retrieval operations on the ground zero just resumed this morning after being halted yesterday the whole afternoon due to a possible landslide or the threat of a possible landslide in the area.
Using drone shots, various fissures were observed on the upper part of the mountain yesterday. These are from the initial collapse last week that triggered a widespread landslide in Mako, Davao de Oro. And due to the discovery of new fissures, the search and retrieval operations at Ground Zero were suspended throughout the day yesterday. Rescuers were also temporarily moved away for their safety.
There might be a possible movement ng face ng landslide. So that's why we move our command, yung ground command. Yes sir, number 1 po yan, yung safety ng ating responders.
This morning, the search resumed once again. The Philippine Army is now utilizing thermal scanners and various power tools as well. They are even using a snake eye camera which supposedly allows them to see the situation inside the rubble through its small openings.
Napapadali yung trabaho namin at saka nagiging maiksi yung oras na nagagamit namin sa mga equipment natin dahil dito mas madali natin ina-approach yung mga kababayan natin na natrap.
71 fatalities still remain from the landslide. 32 are wounded, while 47 individuals are still missing. All recovered bodies are being directed to the mortuary in the town of Mawab. The problem is, residents living nearby are reportedly struggling to breathe and barely sleeping due to the foul odor emanating from the remains.
Masakit sa lalamunan, tapos sakit sa mata, ganun din. Ang baho naman sa formalin. Sana madalian na lang nila pag proseso ng namatay daan sa ilahan sa punerarya.
Over 17 bodies have not yet been identified and remain in the mortuary. This is something that the government is hoping to address.
I-refer ko sa Incident Command Post na parang pagpaalam na ipalibing ko na lang. Total may tagging naman yung NBI. Yung pagpalibing namin, sir, talagang individual, hindi yung mass grave. Bigyan naman natin sila ng kunting dignidad.
Earlier, 9 deceased individuals from the tragedy were blessed and laid to rest. Following this, the land in Barangay Elizalde, which is still under the jurisdiction of the town of Mako, is also gradually being leveled. Tents will be set up in the area while awaiting the recommendation from the Mines and Geosciences Bureau for the establishment of a relocation site.
It's the DepEd policy na ordinarily 15 days lang talaga ang maximum for them to stay in the school facilities para mag-serve as evacuation centers. Para din dahan-dahan may normalcy na rin sa buhay nila na wala na sila doon sa school. Tsaka kailangan dito pa rin sila kasi delikado pa yung lugar nila.
Gretchen, incident command officials admit the stench coming from the decomposing corpses and the landslide area has been causing problems to the residents living near the funeral homes. Authorities here are actually hastening the process for these remains so that burial can begin tomorrow. Gretchen.
Mon, tell us more about the fissures. Were these caused by the heavy rainfall as well? Or matagal na? Gaano kalawak? Gaano karami at nasaan?
Oo, actually, the fissures that nakita nung sa drone shot na nagmo-monitor in the area, nakita yan sa pinakatuktok, no? At ito yung pinaka nagpakabasa kanila because actually, nagkaroon na siya ng konting erosion pero napigilan. So parang naipit or nabitin dun sa gitna. Kaya ito yung mas maaari daw na mag-create pa ng another landslide, no, na in which hindi siya safe for the rescue personnel na nandoon sa pinaka ground zero na nag-ooperate nga for searching and retrieving bodies na nasa ilalim nga ng guho, no. Itong mga cracks, nakita ito na medyo mahahaba na siya, that is being caused or that are being caused by the heavy rains again, no, noong mga nakaraang linggo or actually months ago. Ang nakadagdag pa dito dahil din nagkaroon ng lindol dito sa area na tamaan itong Davao region, no, intensity 3 ang naramdaman dito sa Davao de Oro after yung nangyari nga na magnitude 5.9 earthquake diyan sa may Agusan del Sur. So itong mga factors ito yung nag-trigger kung bakit nagkakaroon ulit ng mga cracks sa ibabaw ng bundok. At the same time, dahil nga sa component or pinaka-materials nitong pinaka-mountain, madali na itong nag-erode or naguguho nga, no, or nagbabanta na possible landslide again. Gretch.
Mon, nabanggit mo nga kanina, nandyan yung MGB, Mines and Geosciences Bureau, to check out na yung Barangay Elizalde, kung safe ba para sa relocation ng mga residente. While they are there, are they also checking the mountain and maybe doing another geohazard mapping since mukhang nagbago na yung lay of the land given all the natural disasters na patong-patong at sunod-sunod?
Tama ka dyan, Shawn. Actually, the MGB or the Mines Geosciences Bureau are the one, yung mga staff nila ang naka-monitor talaga doon sa mismong ground zero. And they are the ones who are monitoring as well doon sa situation ng mountain na talaga namang very, kumbaga talagang delikado, no, unsafe for the rescue personnel to stay in doon. Kaya nga, it's still off limits from the residents, from different people, except lang talaga yung mga rescuers ang mananatili lang doon sa area. Aside from them, yung mga Army and PNP officials. Now, doon naman sa fact na talagang dapat ma-check din talaga yung other areas at ma-check din yung geohazard doon sa pinaka mga mountains na nasa paligid. Isa ito sa mga double check ulit ng MGB because yung una nilang pinropose na relocation site way back 2008 na hindi naman nagamit, ito ay kanilang vini-verify if ganun pa rin, kung pwede pa rin nga itong tirhan or maging relocation site of the affected residents because, tama ka, no, nagkakaroon ng mga changes dito sa area because of the series of earthquake, may mga pag-ulan, and then ito nga, no, various landslides na nangyayari in the mountainous area or mountainous part of Davao de Oro. Shawn.
Mon, si Reg to, no, I wanted to take this chance to ask you na rin if you have the latest count of the dead, of those killed from this landslide as well as the missing as of tonight.
Yes, Regina, actually, tumaas na naman yung bilang ng mga dead or fatalities that we have from the landslide. Nasa 85 na ang dead, 32 remains injured, while 38 are still missing from the landslide.
And then yung the retrieval operations are continuing.
Yeah, the search and retrieval operations continues, but again, due to some limitations, kapag gabi talagang they need to stop kasi hindi rin nila makikita talaga yung condition ng mismong mountain that is very much talagang threatening with their safety. Kaya naman they only do the operations from 6 in the morning until 6 to 7 in the evening. And then afterwards, they need to pause for some time and resume again tomorrow or the other day.
All right, thank you so much for those updates, Mon, and we are one with those who are grieving for the victims of the landslide. Once again, that was Mon Gualvez reporting live to us from Mawab, Davao de Oro.
Meanwhile, President Bongbong Marcos conveyed his gratitude to the U.S. government for extending aid to the areas in Mindanao affected by the recent disaster, which includes emergency support amounting to $1.25 million. During her visit to Malacanang on Tuesday, U.S. Ambassador to the Philippines, Mary Kay Carlson, informed Marcos that in addition to the emergency aid, Washington is deploying 2 C-130s from the Indo-Pacific Command. Marcos, for his part, emphasized the significance of the EDCA sites in disaster relief and response efforts, urging the American official to fully utilize these facilities. Last week, Marcos visited Mindanao and allocated 265 million pesos in financial aid to residents affected by the heavy rains brought by a shear line in a low-pressure area to the Davao region.
Yan, ang dami nga naghahanap, no? Saan na ba daw yung tulong galing sa Amerika when this incident happened? So I guess here it is.
We are
Officially.
seeing some aid. Yes.
The EDCA sites being used, being told by
The
the
nearest
president
one is
for it
in
to use.
Cagayan, which is near enough. And there is a big U.S. aid office in Davao City as
I think
well.
there are two now in Cagayan,
Two EDCA sites.
if I remember correctly.
There's one in Cagayan up there and
Oo.
in Cagayan down there.
Cagayan up there. See, Ambassador Carlson also, of course, assured Marcos that teams from Indo-Pac, Indo-PACCOM,
Yeah, Indo-Pacific Command.
exactly, which is short for Indo-Pacific Command, and the Joint U.S. Military Assistance Group are ready to provide assistance to the Philippines as need be.
Well, of course, the ambassador and our president also talked about the West Philippine Sea.
Oh, yes.
We have yet to get details on that, but it's good to see, again, aid coming in. The United States, the deals coming into fruition here.
What I know about Ambassador Carlson from hearing her speak live in many other different forums is that she is quite straightforward in her speeches. And so this time around, we also know that she commended the Marcos administration's firm stance as far as the West Philippine Sea is concerned and as far as upholding our sovereign rights over disputed waters is concerned. So I can imagine that she would have said the same thing to the president this time around.
All right, we're going to pause for a quick break for now, but right after that, the Education Department is looking into reports of an alleged data breach in one of its offices. We'll find out more from DICT Assistant Secretary Aboy Paraiso when the big story returns. Stay with us.
Welcome back. You're still watching the big story here on One News.
The Education Department is verifying reports of an alleged data breach at one of its offices. This is in response to a post by a social media account called Deep Web Connect, alleging that a certain threat actor hacked the DepEd's database. The hackers supposedly accumulated over 750 gigabytes of data that include banking info and other sensitive information of students and teachers. The DepEd says it is now verifying whether this is indeed a hacking incident. However, it is yet to disclose exactly which regional office is affected. And this is, of course, coming just a few days after the DICT confirmed that unidentified hackers tried to breach multiple government servers, including those of the Philippine Coast Guard and President Marcos's official website.
The DICT has now also gotten involved in this case, and to tell us more, we have with us on the line DICT Assistant Secretary Renato Aboy Paraiso. He's joining us over the line, like I said. Good evening, Asec. Thanks for being with us again.
Good evening, Ma'am Gretchen, Ma'am Shawn, and to your viewers and all your followers.
Thanks for stepping away from your Valentine's date, if any, to talk to us. Kasi about this very important.
No Valentine's date.
I see. Okay,
It's okay. We're all the same.
We will probe that later on. But for now, you heard our reporting about this potential DepEd hacking. It's been a full day.
Yeah.
What more can you tell us about this case? May hacking ba talaga?
Well, we coordinated initially with the DepEd. Personally, I've been in contact with Yusek Michael, the spokesperson for the DepEd. Initially, when we reported this to the DepEd, we coordinated. We conducted our own individual testing of the DepEd system in that particular region. But from the very start, let me make this clear. We had our doubts because the alleged or purported data that was infiltrated or that was gotten from the DepEd was around 750 gigs. It's close to 1 terabyte, which is a very massive amount for one particular region to secure or to have a hold of. So that raised our doubts initially. So after a careful investigation by the DepEd, which we confirmed, they found out that there was no breach of their particular system, but as a precautionary measure, they are now testing all their systems. The ICT is helping them conduct our VAPT testing on those systems.
All right. Of course, the source of this supposed incident is Deep Web Connect. We don't know much about them except for that they are an online account on Twitter, now known as X. Supposedly, they monitor government data leaks. Ang sabi nila sa kanilang tweet ay the Department of Education Cabuyao office experienced a massive breach with an estimated 750 GB of sensitive information compromised, including etc. Right? Do we know who they are? Are you familiar with them?
No, ma'am. We are not familiar with them, although we have our leads onto their identities. But like I said, for purposes of national security, we are restricted from divulging since this is an ongoing investigation.
Okay. Asec, you talked about banking information and some sensitive info. Can we know a little bit more about that, about what has been compromised? And also, have you tapped into the students and teachers who are involved here? Sabi niyo po, walang breach, pero you're taking precautions. So have you alerted those possibly compromised here?
No, we can say to a certain degree of certainty that we can confirm now that the Cabuyao region was the one we isolated for investigation. We can confirm that we agree with the assessment of the DepEd that there was no breach in that particular region. So there's no need to further alarm and cause panic to those individuals that were supposedly hacked. But the precautionary measure that we're now taking is an inventory and an investigation of the whole system to guarantee that the necessary protocols and safeguards are still in place and would uphold against various attacks from these hackers.
All right. Asec Aboy, I'd like to take this opportunity na rin, para kamustahin yung nagyaring email bomb threat from a supposed Takahiro Karasawa. Do we know more about what happened there? Kung sino ba siya, totoong tao ba siya, etc.?
No, we have already coordinated after that email was sent out to various government agencies. These government agencies, including the DICT, exercise our evacuation protocols as a precautionary measure. But to give perspective here, ma'am, on why this happened. At the same time, we received this email. The email that the government offices in Seoul, Korea also received the same email and also erred inside of caution and exercised their evacuation procedures. Now, after that, an investigation took place, and we ascertained that these emails came from the same email address, the same domain name, from emails sent out a year ago involving the same bomb threats against government agencies. Now, we already coordinated with the Embassy of Japan yesterday. The head of our CICC, Executive Director Alex Ramos, together with the NBI, PNP, Cybercrime Unit, and various agencies, coordinated with the Embassy of Japan. So to find a quicker solution to this particular challenge, and hopefully we can bring the culprits in the folds of justice very soon.
And in the, we were just also, of course, reporting that this belonging to, for instance, the Philippine Coast Guard, OWA, and even President Marcos's official page. At that time, you also said that you guys have begun an investigation. We knew a little bit. We knew that some of the threat actors, ika nga, were traced to China. I was wondering if we know more about it at this point in time. And China's also offered to help. Has there been coordination with them?
Yeah, that is the biggest progression here in this particular case, because yes, we can confirm that China, the government of China, reached out to the Philippines, and they offered to help in the investigation and help capture these criminals, these cyber criminals. Like I said, in the press statement, we are very confident that, since they took a stand against these cyber criminals, and they would not tolerate, they would not harbor these criminals. We are now expecting that, since this particular cooperation is now taking place, that something would come out of it, and there would be attribution to these particular criminals. Since we know the particular groups, we know the particular IP addresses, so we gave it to the government of China so they can investigate on their own and hopefully find a quicker solution to this particular challenge again.
Oh, okay. So we're looking at groups, not just one person, one or two isolated attackers.
Yes, ma'am. We identified them to be Chinese, known Chinese hacking groups, particularly Meander and Panda.
Yun pa rin. Si Meander. Oo. Lagi natin na... Meander. Hindi, lagi kasi sila yung nababanggit di ba? Yung isa Panda, tama ba, Asec, Aboy?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, the other one is Panda. Pero there's another one, it's called Lonely Island, but it's from another country, sa Middle Eastern country naman.
Itong DepEd hack, di ba, sabi niyo nga walang breach, pero may links din kaya to sa China?
That's a different story. With this particular, yung sa DepEd naman po, we gathered that the IP address and the domain name and the email address all belong to a domain located in the Japanese jurisdiction. Tapos we surmise that the individual, it's a Japanese citizen.
Oh, from Japan.
Nasa Japan naman.
It's scary. It's all these attacks coming from everywhere.
So I guess the lesson here is, we can never be too safe. It could come from anywhere, really.
Yeah.
Yes. That's one thing that we have to realize now, that we live in a day and age wherein this particular types of crimes are already borderless. When I say borderless, the criminals are from different nations, as well as the victims. That's why we have certain allies who experience the same incidents that we experience, and that's why there's a mutual cooperation between these allied countries in order to put a stop to these particular activities.
Well, speaking of borderless, it is Valentine's Day, and you know what, Asec? There has been an explosion of in the incidents of love scams, right? So much so that even immigration, the Bureau of Immigration has now gotten involved. They're talking about, they've begun warning about a new marriage scam wherein somebody will be lured to, getting married to somebody that they've never met overseas. So they've started cracking down on these. Catfishing. What's the DICT doing to counter these, and what's your advice to the viewers?
Well, the DICT's counter to this is our attached agency, the CIC, already launched a campaign called Unmatched, together with the private sector, particularly Scamwatch PH. In this particular program, we advise the public to not make themselves a target because we profile these scammers. We profile these scammers into several profiles, which it really depends on the techniques they employ in order to scam these individuals. They're right. In the aspect of one of the profiles now is what's called the serviceman profile, wherein certain individuals post themselves as servicemen that are looking to marry Filipinas and promise them green cards to travel abroad, and then they ask for money so they can fix their papers or unfreeze their pensions. So there are several other profiles that would fit various forms of scams. They even evolved in the scams that they employ. One particular thing that they evolved is they're not asking money directly from their victims. Now they now employ that they would want their victims to invest in particular ventures because they love them. They want them to get rich or they want them to prosper. So there's an evolution in the scam.
In short, wag tayo masyadong magtitiwala. Kasi ang bilis na rin na mag-fake ng profile to pati yun na AI na rin yung mga videos. Kung naka-live kayo.
Exactly.
Ang bilis ng
That's
maloko
a
ngayon.
very good reminder from...
At tinatarget nila yung vulnerable population. Kaya wag masyadong marupok.
Oh, the single and the lonely, right? Yeah. Okay, thank you so much for that.
That's the first thing to remember. That's the first thing to remember. The platform may be IT, the platform may be in the internet, but they target the most vulnerable. So I think the best message now for our citizenry or sa mga kababayan natin is don't make yourself a target. Don't monitor information na malungkot kayo, na single kayo, you're looking for love. That makes you an easy target.
Very good reminder
Wise
from
words,
DICT Asec, Aboy Paraiso. Thanks so much again for being with us tonight.
So much data is out there. It's easy to get your birthday, your address, your banking details. Pati yung mga e-wallets ngayon.
Where you've been.
Problema sa e-wallets, akala mo matitrace mo pero hindi pala. Yun na nga, di ba? Parang if they're giving it a name, you can also fake your identity with the e-wallet. And yun nga, parang ang daming mahilig kasi tayo mag-post So, ang bilis lang din mag-impersonate.
Yes.
Kaya nga ako ngayon, hindi na ako nagpo-post masyado on time, laging late. So akala ng mga tao, nasa Europe ako. Pero talaga
But really, she's here. No,
Diba?
she's AI.
See?
I'm AI, I'm not real.
She's not real.
It's a good reminder for all of us, especially on this day today. Well, in other news, senators are alarmed over the rising rate of teenage mothers who drop out of school. Data from the Philippine Statistics Authority showed that pregnancies among Filipino teenagers dropped to 5.4% in 2022 from the 8.6% in 2017. But while that's positive news, the 2022 annual poverty indicator showed that more teenage mothers are choosing to drop out of school. 17% of teenage mothers choose to stop their education and do not go back to school even after their pregnancies. These figures were presented during a hearing of the Senate Committee on Basic Education. Senators are now calling for a review on the effectiveness of the comprehensive sexuality education for students.
Even though girls outperform boys in our country in terms of academic performance, but a lot of them drop out because of teenage pregnancies.
So what are the other reasons behind the seeming inadequacy of sex education in the country, and how does the Education Department plan to address that? Let's bring in Marimon Reyes for the rest of that story. Marimon, what do the experts say?
Reg, the Philippine Institute for Development Studies say teaching comprehensive sexuality education remains challenging because of culture and religion. But it's not just those. PIDS says even teachers are finding it difficult to effectively teach sex education due to lack of training.
Ang sabi ng mga teachers, hindi nila alam kung ano yung age and development appropriate na sexuality education. Gusto nila ng curriculum na naka-integrate na yung sexuality education mismo. Susundan na lang nila. Gusto nila ng teacher guide explicit na ito comprehensive sexuality education to, at gusto rin nila ng training.
Meanwhile, for former DepEd Secretary Leonor Briones, students who get pregnant should not be punished or expelled. She explains that some schools actually kick out students for getting pregnant.
It takes two for a girl to get pregnant. Not only the girls, but the boys should also have exposure to reproductive health. We should never punish girls, young people for the situation that they are in by special circumstances.
For their part, the DepEd supports the bill looking to standardize sex education from elementary to high school. The agency also vows to review the sexuality education program. They also aim to strengthen the alternative learning system to encourage teenage moms to return to school. Reg.
Thanks for that update, Mary Mon Reyes. We're going to pause for a quick break, but right after that, aside from Valentine's Day and Ash Wednesday, as we've said, it's also the 100th birthday of former Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile. A peek at his birthday party when the big story returns. Stay with us.
Welcome back. You're still watching The Big Story here on One News.
Aside from Ash Wednesday and Valentine's, it's also Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Juan Ponce Enrile's birthday today. He is, drum roll, 100 years young. Enrile celebrated his special day in Malacanang, where he received the centenarian stamp from President Marcos. Present at the event were House and Senate leaders, former President Joseph Estrada and former First Lady Imelda Marcos. Enrile has held a number of positions in government. Before becoming Senate President, he was Defense Minister under the Marcos Sr. administration and likewise served as Justice and Finance Secretary.
And Senate President. And
cue the memes.
I know, right? So, now, the other thing, though, that came up, you saw that group photo. So at this birthday party, supposedly, nagkaroon ng ceasefire agreement. No, I'm not talking about the communists. And the war.
Wala pa pala ceasefire there.
Wala pa ceasefire there.
Nauna to.
This is between the House and the Senate leaderships. So it was reported that House Speaker Martin Romualdez and Senate President Mig Zubiri shook hands at the event. Unfortunately, we don't have any footage of that, but it was confirmed by Senator Bong Revilla, who also posted this photo of them along with SAP, Anton Lagdameo Jr., our Special Assistant to the President. Now, Senate President Mig Zubiri also had this to say about his encounter with House Speaker Romualdez.
We committed to talk to each other hopefully next week for a secondary meeting kasi mabilis lang po yung pagkita namin kanina, nagkamayan po kami at yan po mensahe namin. In the Day of Hearts, we had a good meeting with the Speaker earlier at ang kagandahan po nito, we agreed to work together to pass legislation for our people at isang tabi muna namin yung away.
You know, no matter what you say, this is quite a feat. 100 years,
to
the
live
world's
to 100.
oldest public
And not
servant.
just 100, you know, JPE is
Diba?
the 100 years old na he's still working. He's still the Chief Presidential Legal Counsel. Mukhang nakapag-Ash Wednesday
Very
mass pa siya
sharp.
before his
Oo.
birthday party. Like, he's so sharp.
Imagine having served under Marcos Sr.'s administration and now serving the administration of the Sun.
Kanina, medyo
grabe.
nakikinig ako ng podcast ni Robbie Alampay on Juan Ponce Enrile.
Oh, yes,
Partnership
they did a
with Probe
series,
Archives.
yes. Oh.
Very, very nice. Listen to it. But nag-research ako ng konti. He survived World War II, the Japanese occupation in which he was tortured.
Yes.
He survived COVID-19,
Yes.
having COVID twice, pneumonia 3 times. But the only thing that he has is macular degeneration of the eyes and a hearing aid.
And a hearing aid, yes.
Tapos nung tinanong sa kanya kung nag-google ba siya, ang sagot niya, bakit ako mag-google? I live to 100.
Without needing Google.
Alam mo, it's
favorite
amazing.
moment ko
It's
to, I mean,
amazing.
di kami friends ni JP, pero favorite moment ko to nung Senate President siya, ang dami niyang hearings na pinapreside, di ba? Tapos minsan, magzo-zoom in sa kanya yung camera, bago nilabas lang yung iPad nung time na yun. My gosh, while he's like interrogating these people, he's playing Bejeweled.
Wow.
Oh,
Remember
he
that
was
game?
Oh, my mom does that.
He was
Is it
caught on
secret
camera.
life?
Is that the secret to lang? I don't know, but maybe we should download it.
Saluyot. Kumakain siya ng saluyot tsaka dinengdeng.
Ay,
Tapos he reads a lot. So I guess we gotta do that.
Speaking of Senate hearing, don't forget he was also embroiled in a lot of controversies throughout his career.
That's true.
We've still not gotten closure over the PDAF scam,
Yep.
diba? He is
Said to be the
Sandigan
orchestrator
Bayan.
of martial
Oo.
law.
Said to be the orchestrator, and he is trying to. He is still accused of plunder, but he's trying to get out of the appeal, trying to file an appeal, if I remember correctly. The charges are he supposedly amassed 172 million pesos worth of kickbacks from the PDAF that was funneled through ghost NGOs under Napoles.
Well, he is a legal luminary as well as a CPA. So, I mean, it's a formidable fight for the Sandigan to try to pin him on this one.
1924 was the year he was born.
Okay, pero
Grabe,
ito.
no? That
these
was
are-
before the coronation of Queen Elizabeth.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness.
And also, he's older than Mickey Mouse, who was
Wow.
invented in 1928.
Things younger than Enrile. What else do we have?
So what can we say,
ABS-CBN,
diba?
which was...
He outlived ABS-CBN.
He did.
No, but he didn't come from a well-off family. He was actually an illegitimate child. Parang Furaganon yata ang last
Yes,
name niya noon. Tapos he met his dad, the legal, the real father. Tapos he was accepted, doon siya nakapag-aral. Actually, doon ko na yan sa Spotify ni Robbie.
Sa podcast.
Andun yung lahat. Oo. Tapos,
Very, very interesting.
nagsasagutan pa sila lagi ni Miriam Defensor Santiago
Oh,
noon. Na-outlive
I
rin
do
niya.
miss
Yun, oo. But,
the late Senator
Tsaka
Santiago.
siya, di ba, isa pa oh my goodness, the name escapes me, but another woman na matapang din, na lagi rin niya nakakasagutan, nakaklase niya before.
Oh, ito, you won't
Pero
be able
yung
to
wife,
take this in.
yung wife niya is still alive, 87. Medyo nagkakasakit
Oh,
nga
si
lang.
Christina Ponce
But
Enrile.
still alive.
Okay,
That's
pero
a really
balikan
good
natin
age.
to yung Bejeweled. Before, meron tayong show na ang tawag Political Capital, hosted by Attorney Anthony Abad. And he did answer the question kung bakit siya nagbebejewel lagi or nagbebejeweled lagi sa mga Senate hearing. Sabi nga niya, it is to sharpen his mind, so maybe we should, meron pa bang bejeweled?
Wala.
Or Candy Crush na ba yung
I don't
uso?
think anyone still plays it.
My mom does.
Okay, so meron pa.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But ito,
She might live to 100.
You might not be able to take this. Talking about things younger than Enrile.
What?
McDonald's.
Younger
was only
than-
founded
Wow.
in 1940.
Oh my God.
How about the
JPE?
United Nations?
McDonald's, my friend. JPE was
Grabe.
born 1924. McDonald's was founded 1940.
And penicillin, he survived the time without antibiotics
For
4 years.
He was already born. He was 4 years old before penicillin was invented. Grabe.
Okay, but apparently, meron pa tayong national treasure that is
Okay.
actually older than Juan Ponce Enrile.
Well, if there's one word that I can describe JPE as, it would be survivor. Right. And speaking of the centenarian that you were talking about, the national icon, she's also a centenarian. Legendary Mambabatok Apo Wangod is who I'm talking about, of course, who hails from Buscalan, Kalinga. She was also awarded by the president today. Marcos handed the Presidential Medal of Merit to the 106-year-old tattoo artist in a ceremony in Malacanang earlier today. The award was given in recognition of Wang Od's impact and major contribution to the country's traditional arts and culture. The president described Wang Od as someone who is truly a national treasure.
Pero for sure, si Apo Wang Od, hindi siya nagbe-bejeweled. So, hindi yon yung sekreto niya para umabot sa 106.
Pero at kanina titignan ko rin kung pwede pang magpa-tattoo. Parang apparently, ginagawa niya, nag-signature na lang siya, 3 dots.
Meron na siyang mga parang proteges.
Pero paminsan-minsan, meron pa rin sumaswerteng na nalagyan niya ng tattoo na medyo mas malaki than the 3 dots.
Oo, depende nga daw kapag siguro parang mas okay yung feeling niya on the day na nandun ka.
We treasure our national treasures. And we do, their lives are very, very interesting. They're for us to study. Well, up next, we'll share with you the Valentine's Day messages of our President and Vice President. At konting patikim, may hugot ang isa sa kanila kung sino yan. Don't miss that. Keep it here on One News.
Welcome back. You're still watching The Big Story here on One News. Okay, so we were talking about centenarians, Valentine's Day, Ash Wednesday, but let's not forget TV host Chris Aquino is also celebrating her birthday today, February 14. Unfortunately, she also revealed that her health condition has deteriorated. Now, speaking to her longtime friend and former co-host Boy Abunda in his program Fast Talk this afternoon, Chris said she is now suffering symptoms of a 5th autoimmune disease which has affected her lungs and her heart. The TV host and actress said that she will be taking a new biological drug which will hopefully help manage her condition. Chris said that she remains hopeful that she will get better and is asking again for prayers from all her supporters.
Ngayon ako hihingi talaga. I'm sorry na parang ang kapal ng mukha ko dahil ang tagal nyo na akong pinagdarasal, but I really need it now. Kung hindi ito tumalaboy, I stand a very strong chance of having cardiac arrest. Because alam ko na bawat araw, especially now birthday ko pa, pahiram na lang to ng Diyos. Binigyan ako ng bonus. So, whatever days are left, kung ano man ang natitira, it's a blessing. But I really want to stay alive.
It's very sad.
Even
but
Chris Aquino's voice.
Yeah, I know. It
sounds different.
It's hoarse. I really hope this round of medication helps her. President Marcos has a message for Filipinos this Valentine's Day. In his social media page, he posted this sweet photo of him and First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos. In the caption, he says, "Whether you're celebrating love for yourself or for another, we wish you a happy Hearts Day." But since it's also Ash Wednesday, in another post, President shared this photo of him with the familiar ash cross marking on his forehead and wrote, "In observing Ash Wednesday, let's all reflect and renew our faith."
It's so hard kasi, no, to nagsabay yung Ash Wednesday. So, it was a completely different.
Traffic eh.
Yeah, you have
parang
to
hindi mo alam kung saan ka lulugar.
Correct.
Kasi sabi nga ni Archbishop Advin Kula,
diba?
parang i-celebrate na natin yung Valentine's sa ibang araw. Kasi Ash Wednesday is for our love for God. Parang may gano'n siyang sinabi. Kaya parang, teka lang, confused.
Yung settings ko, hindi ko alam kung...
Pero sabi ko nga, di ba? Parang kung katulad ka na minamahal mo si Lord, wala kang minamahal, Ash Wednesday na lang.
Siyempre, kahit may minamahal ka, dapat...
Why can't you do both? I don't understand it. Go hear Mass, get the Ash, and then go out on the date.
Pero nasa na yung hugot, hinahanap ko
Ito na. So kung nakita niyo yung nakakakilig na picture, di ba, ni PBBM tsaka ni First Lady Lisa, eto, medyo may hugot naman na ang banat ng ating Vice Presidente, si Sara Duterte, sa kanyang Hearts Day message. Ang topic, bakit crush daw ang tawag sa crush? Pakinggan natin.
Kaya crush ang tawag sa tao na gusto mo dahil he will crush your heart and break your heart. Kaya wag mo na lang lapitan. Happy Valentine's Day sa inyong lahat.
In fairness, di siya mukhang heartbroken. Napaka-fresh ni VP. Kahit tirik na tirik yun.
That was funny.
Tumitingin ako ng TikTok eh. Nagva-viral yung mga ganyan niyang hirit. Ano? Siyempre, popular yan sa mga kabataan. Yung mga ganyang hugot niya.
Pero I believe she's happily married.
It's coming from somewhere.
Ayun nga, so heartbroken ba? Pero I don't think heartbroken siya. So, ayun na naman, guessing game na naman from
Quite the enigma.
Your crush will crush you down. So, huwag mo na lapitan.
Kasi naman tong Valentine's Day talagang pumatak pa sa simula ng ating Lenten season. So eto na, magnilay-nilay na tayo tonight or habol sa date, habol sa prayers. That's it for the show on this Valentine's Day and Ash Wednesday night.
My good advice from Shawn. We do value life even more after today. And tara na, magnilay-nilay tayo here on News All Sides all the time.
Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.